This is the 10th in a series of TaxonWorks tutorials to help new users understand functionality of this, this tool that we've built. Today, we're going to be talking about matrices, character matrices and interactive keys. Usually in these videos in the past, we've been using the universal Chalcidoidea database, but today we're going to be working on a project of mine, the aphelinid workshop. So this is a space that I and Jim Woolley and a number of other aphelinid enthusiasts have been using to explore reclassification of aphelinity and new nomenclatural decisions in this group. And to do that, we've been building character matrices. The place you're going to want to go to start out is called the Observation Matrix Hub. And if you click on it, it will bring you to this page right here. I have two different matrices that I've been working on, one for the species groups to the genus Incarcia, and one to the species of Incarcia of the world. So let's first take a look at this Incarcia species group matrix. So if we go right here and click View, it will take us right to that matrix. And here you can see all of the different groups that I've coded. And along the top, you can see, just like any character matrix, all of the characters that I've included in this matrix, and the middle is populated with character states. Up at the top left here, we can see a number of different options associated with this matrix. View, that's where we're at. Observation Matrix Hub will return us to the window we were just in. Edit will bring us to the Edit Matrix page. We'll spend a little bit more time here in a minute. TNT and Nexus will show the matrix in those formats respectively. And then down at the bottom, we have a number of download options for TNT, Nexus, NexML, and a comma delimited Excel file. We can also, from here, edit individual OTUs that are in this matrix. So let's say I want to do something within the Incarcia boswelli species group. If I click on this check mark in a hexagon here, it will bring me to the coding page for this OTU. So right here up the top, we have all of the different characters that I could code for this taxon. And you can see they each have a check mark next to them, which indicates that I have done coding for that character. Below, you can see a generated description based on my character coding. You can see similar objects. So these are OTUs that cannot easily be distinguished from this particular OTU that I'm in. And then after that, we can see the actual characters. Now, let's say, there's a lot of characters in this matrix, and it can take a lot of time to get from the top to the bottom of the page just by scrolling. So instead, let's say I wanted to recode tarsal formula. I can be up at the top here, and if I click on tarsal formula, it'll take me right down to that character where I can, recode it in any way that I choose. Now, you'll notice that when I click on a new option, a bar starts to run across the top of this character. Once it is completed going across and it is green, that character is now, the edit is now saved in the matrix. You can also look here, and just like in any OTU or nomenclatural entity in TaxonWorks, you can add tags, notes, data attributes, etc. to characters and descriptors. All right, and then, if you want to go back up to the top, rather than scrolling, you can click top and it'll take you back up. From here on the right, you can also copy OTUs or clone OTUs to new matrices, and you can completely destroy the observations in the matrix if you want to start over for whatever reason. All right, let's go back really quick. We were at View. We're going to go back to the Observation Matrix Hub. We're going to go to Edit. This is a more comprehensive editor for the entire matrix rather than OTU, looking at an OTU at a time. Right here on the left is the OTUs, the contents of the rows, and the columns are over here. These are the characters. And from here, we can insert new OTUs and new characters into our matrix. There are two different ways to do this. One is fixed and the other is dynamic. In a fixed, by inserting data with the fixed option, we can just, you search, you select an OTU. Let's say I wanted to add Garcia Sophia. So it's right there. I click on it, and down at the bottom of the matrix, there it is. From here, I can go to that coder page. The other option is the dynamic option. And this allows us to add higher level taxa and all of the contents within that taxon. So let's say I wanted to add the Incarcia citrella species group. So if I click here, the superspecies is the species group, Incarcia citrella species group. So if I click here, you notice that it'll jump into the dynamic rows box up at the top here. And all of the constituent OTUs within the Incarcia citrella group were added to the bottom of the matrix right here. So Paracitrella, Macula, Moctezuma, etc. This is an effective way to add lots of taxa to a matrix. If you know you're going to be working with all of the species in a genus or all of the species in a species group, you can dynamically add those. Saves a lot of time. If for whatever reason I don't want to add a taxon, if I want to remove a taxon from a matrix, you can come over to this trash can. Let's say I actually want to remove the Incarcia citrella species from this group. I can click right here. If I remove it from the dynamic box, I should be able to scroll down and you'll see that all of those constituent taxa were removed from the matrix. We can also do this with characters. So if I switch from row to column like this, I can now add new characters to the matrix. Now, characters are data that originate as descriptors. So let's say I wanted to add a new descriptor for a new character. I can click right here and it'll take us to a new descriptor page. You can say what type of character this is. I'm just going to go for a qualitative character. Down here, I can add, whatever character, I can put the information for that qualitative character into this box. So, let's say I want to add, I'm going to use tarsal formula again. You can add a quick description, number of segments tarsus, and then you can add or composing each tarsus. Then you can add your different character states just like you normally would in any morphological matrix. So we could do 555. This might not mean anything to anybody, but I'm just going to populate it with some character states so that there's something that is there when I add it to the matrix. Okay, so I've added my character states. I have my character. If there's more information that you have for the character or the character states, you can click this show more option and it'll give you the option to add a shorter name, a description name. It'll give you the option to weight that character if you think it is important or less important. Once you're done, go ahead and click update and you have your new character. So now that we're back in the edit observation matrix hub, I can set this back to column. And if I search tarsal formula, you can see it right here. It's, I guess, not a great option since I've already used that, but when clicking that here, When clicking that option, there it goes. It shows up right to the bottom. And I can begin to code that character for all of my OTUs that are in the matrix. So this box in the top right, this validation box, allows you to check that all of the OTUs in your matrix are distinguishable, can be delimited from one another. If they can be delimited from everything else, it'll get a check mark. If it can't be delimited from something, it'll give you this little caution mark. And if you click on it, it'll tell you what row it is too similar to. So that is a good way to, check that you've put in groups that are different from one another. It also gives you kind of a check to see, are these groups actually different? The other thing that you can do from the edit observation matrix page is click on this sortable columns and rows box. This will allow you to click and drag items in your matrix. So you can see I'm moving this OTU Durfus around. It also will allow you to move characters by clicking and dragging. So let's say you add a new character and you want it grouped with like characters. So let's say, I have this new tarsal formula character that I created for this demonstration. And let's say I want it to be with other, other characters of the insect leg. I can drag it and put it where it should be. Oh, one more thing. If you click on this green box, sort by nomenclature, it will actually take your OTU box and sort it alphabetically by nomenclature. So that can be very easy if that's the way that you process your taxa. Once you have a matrix that you're happy with, that works, that's fully populated with the data that you have, you can use it to create an interactive key. So if I go back to the observation matrix hub and I click on interactive key, right like that, it'll bring us to an interactive lucid style key that's generated from our morphology matrix. If you click on this button right here, it will change the layout of the key. So the default layout has descriptors on top, the remaining taxa that have not been delimited on the left, and then those taxa that have been delimited or eliminated on the right. So I like it like this, so I'm gonna change it to that. The default presentation of descriptors is in informativeness, so it's the order in which the most taxa can be eliminated. So if I click on this, we can see each character associated with the length to width ratio of the first funicular segment of male antenna. So let's say I'm looking at a specimen and I notice that it has, I observe that it has longer, a F1 segment that is 3 times longer than it is wide. So I click on that. It will eliminate all of the taxa that do not possess that character. And right here, you can see that we have all of our taxa remaining. I can then go, forward and continue to eliminate taxa by selecting characters that I can observe on my my specimen until I have found one single species. Right now, none of these taxa are coded, which is why they are not being eliminated from the matrix. Taxa that have no characters will remain no matter what you put into the matrix. Once you're done and you've identified your specimen, you can actually just reset the matrix by clicking reset right in the top right, and it brings you back to an unfilled out key like that. Up here, we have a couple of different options that will help you refine your key usage. So up here we have error tolerance, which will give you gradations of strictness with how many errors are allowed before they eliminate taxa. Here it will allow you to set the level of identification. So if you've got multiple genera in your key, for example, and you've coded all the different species, you can set it to genus, and it will just show the genera in the remaining box. And as you identify, observe, and select character states, it will eliminate and display what genus the taxon is. And then over here we have descriptor sorting. This will allow you to change the presentation of the different characters and character states in your left box. So it starts optimized. If we click ordered, it goes in the order in which they appear in the character matrix. And if we go to weighted, it will present them with weighted characters first.